In chapter 10 of 1 Corinthians, Paul warns the Corinthians by recalling the history of Israel. He reminds them that the Israelites experienced God's blessings, such as being under the cloud and passing through the sea, yet many were destroyed because of their disobedience. Despite their privileges, they engaged in idolatry, sexual immorality, testing God, and grumbling, and consequently faced God's judgment. Paul uses these examples as lessons, urging the Corinthians to avoid similar sins and to remain faithful. He emphasizes that temptation and trials are common to all, but God is faithful to provide a way to endure them. No believer will be tempted beyond what they can bear, and God will always offer escape so they can withstand the test. Paul stresses that Christians must rely on God's strength to resist sin and must actively flee from occasions of temptation, recognizing that their spiritual life depends on obedience and vigilance. Paul addresses the issue of participating in pagan rituals, particularly eating food offered to idols. He warns that while idols are nothing, and food itself is not sinful, partaking in sacrifices at pagan temples can cause believers to share in idolatry and lead weaker brothers astray. Paul insists that all actions must be guided by love and concern for others, reminding the Corinthians that they must not become a stumbling block to the faith of fellow believers, even when exercising their freedoms. Finally, Paul encourages the Corinthians to glorify God in all things, whether eating, drinking, or engaging in any activity. He reminds them that they should avoid anything that would bring harm to themselves or others spiritually, stressing the importance of self-discipline, responsibility, and love. By living in obedience to God and considering the conscience of others, believers honor Christ, maintain unity in the church, and follow the lessons learned from the history of Israel. Let's now read 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. But with many of them God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples, to the intent we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happened unto them for ensamples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. There hath no temptation taken you but such as is common to man, but God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. I speak as to wise men, judge ye what I say. The cup of blessing which we bless, is it not the communion of the blood of Christ? The bread which we break, is it not the communion of the body of Christ? For we being many are one bread, and one body, for we are all partakers of that one bread. Behold Israel after the flesh, are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar? What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? But I say, that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, and not to God, and I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord, and the cup of devils, ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table, and of the table of devils. Do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. Whatsoever is sold in the shambles, that eat, asking no question for conscience sake. For the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. If any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question for conscience sake. But if any man say unto you, This is offered in sacrifice unto idols, eat not for his sake that showed it, and for conscience sake, for the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. Conscience, I say, not thine own, but of the other, for why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience? For if I by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of for that for which I give thanks? Whether therefore ye eat, or drink, or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of God. Give none offense, neither to the Jews, nor to the Gentiles, nor to the church of God. Even as I please all men in all things, not seeking mine own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved. This ends our reading of 1 Corinthians chapter 10.